Hey guys, Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center today, and we're trying to take some opportunities to show you some medical procedures, some medical cases that we deal with on a regular basis. We just did an episode on it. We're going to do an episode today on ear abscesses, especially in turtles and tortoises, okay? Now, a lot of the times we will see wild-caught box turtles come into us with lumps on the side of their head. People most of the time think they've been injured or something like that. Or aquatic turtles that have lived in real nasty conditions and haven't had like good filtration or good continual water changes, water cleaning, stuff like that. One of the things that we see from ear abscesses or what's considered as a massive lump on the side of the head, an infection pocket inside of the head, is due to either bacteria, like in the case of aquatic turtles, nasty environment, stuff like that, or in the case of a lot of your land turtles and tortoises, and including your aquatic turtles, is from a vitamin A deficiency. They don't get enough vitamin A in their system, and it starts to build up an infection, and most of the time you start to see that bulge from either the eyes or from the ears. Most of the time, you're going to see it with the ears. The infection pocket's going to build up in the head, and you're going to start to see those ears bulge on the outside. Now remember, these guys don't have an ear canal. They don't have an inner ear, and the eardrum's not on the inside. Their eardrum literally is a membrane that sits right on the outside of their head. So, like when we have ear infections, yes, our ear bulges, but it's on the inside. You can't see that bulge unless you look through an actual little ear scope. Now, with these guys, you can see it because it bulges right on the side of their head. Okay, now, we're going to show you one of several ways that you can take care of this. This is just one of the ways that we do it. We're going to show you with an eastern painted turtle. Painted turtle come in, and it had this ear abscess, pretty nasty one. And so we went ahead and took care of it, and we got it on camera, showing you exactly how we would deal with this. Now, come on and check this out. All right, well. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a slight numbing agent in here. Okay. It's just going to slightly numb it up. Remember, these animals don't feel pain quite the same way you and I do. So the numbing agent, not totally necessary, because once we pop this, okay, this thing is under pressure, so it's going to be more discomfort than actual like nerve-ending pain, kind of like what we would feel. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do here with this little guy, and see, the first thing I did was get his head out. This is the biggest headache that you have whenever you deal with a turtle, is you've got to be able to get the head to right here, okay? There is no fancy contraption or anything to be able to hold the head out. Now, no, I'm not squeezing him so tight I'm cutting off his air. I'm not hurting his neck, anything like that, but you've got to be able to get the head out because we have to be able to access this ear, okay? So, now that we've got him numbed, I'm going to take him and just make a slight slit. Remember, this is the eardrum. This is the ear membrane. Okay. Tear that open for me. This is the actual eardrum. They have an external eardrum. They have no ear canal with an inner eardrum. The eardrum sits right on the side of their head. Okay. Now we're going to take. This is probably going to be the nastiest part for most anybody. You're going to take, all right, look at all this. See this? This is everything that's in there. This is nothing but just bad infection. This is bad for this little guy. And this infection, we have seen them come in so bad before that it goes all the way up into their head. And remember, what causes this is a severe vitamin A deficiency. Most of the time, they're really, really low on vitamin A, or they haven't been getting the right amount of vitamin A in their diet. And so they take an infection, starts to build up in that head. Now, whenever we do this, we have to make sure all this infection comes out. We don't want to leave any infection of any form, okay? Okay. Now, from where I pre-opened it up, one of the things that we want to do here is we want to take a Q-tip. We want to roll this Q-tip around because we want to get the rest of that infection pocket out of there. Okay, so we're using clean. There we go. See how that goes? And remember, we have to get every bit, or as absolutely much of this infection as we can get, because what infection is left in there is going to reinfect. And so with the numbing agent, again, considering they don't really feel pain kind of like we do, the numbing agent is just meant to help with the discomfort that he's going to be feeling. But I can promise you, just like somebody with a massive ear infection, as soon as this thing popped, he's got instant relief. There's a mass amount of relief that's going to come with that popping. All right, Sebastian, grab another Q-tip and push against me right there. Yep, right there. Yep, just roll it against. There we go. Okay, all right, pretty good.
Do you know?
Yeah, it's getting there. Oh, there's some more. There's some more.
Heading down in there.
Yeah, we can roll that right out of there just like that. Okay. And you see I've got right here, I've got a set of dental picks. These dental picks work so well for a lot of different things when we need them. You know, in cases like this, when we've opened this ear up more than what we have this particular time, then these dental picks give us the ability to be able to actually, it sounds kind of rough, but the actual ability to dig around down in there. We would open this up, a pair of tweezers, forceps, whatever, get this cavity opened up a little bit further. We would open this up and we could use the dental set to actually dig in there and literally scrape out the infection so that we can get every bit of this infection out of this ear. Because again, this thing's going to be open for a while. Okay, so part of the process of this is this animal's going to have to be dry docked for a while. It's going to have to be dry docked for at least 7 days, if not closer to 10 days. Okay, no water other than a little bit of water that would come up to his shell about every 2 to 3 days, so that he can at least get some hydration. But we do not want water. We don't want bacteria and stuff like that getting up inside of this ear. And as you can still see, I'm still getting infection out of this cavity. So I mean, this stuff goes in. When it goes in deep, and we want to be real careful. We want to be real careful to make sure that we're getting every bit of it. Okay, now looks like we got just about all the infection we're going to be able to get. Okay, now one of the things that we're going to do here, we're going to take this iodine betadine solution. We stick it right in this cavity here. We're going to flush it. Okay, so I'm going to turn his head down this direction, and we've diluted this to a weak tea solution. Okay, remember, iodine betadine acts like an antiseptic. Okay, so we want to take and flush this out. Flush this out real good, and go ahead and start doing an antiseptic routine. And this also will help flush out more infection that may be inside of that ear. Okay. All right, now I'm going to set this here. I'm taking him to check his ear one more time. Yeah, see, there's some infection. We loosened some of it up by by high pressuring some of that betadine up in there, so we help to bust some more loose. And see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just roll it to the hole, roll the infection up to it, get it, and then just reach right in there and just grab it out. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to flush it one more time. I'm going to turn that head sideways again. There we go. Okay, let's see another piece of gauze. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to dry this guy off. Get this area nice and dried down now. Looks much better. Much better than it did. Okay. Now we're going to take another Q-tip. Put me some Neosporin on the end of that for me, Sebastian. And just cake it on there. Yeah, all right, hang on. Okay, we're going to take some antibiotic ointment. We're actually going to physically push it up in that hole. That way the antibiotic ointment starts actually fighting the infection. All right, put me some more on that side, please. Now, conventional wisdom would say, you know, suture this back together. Here's the thing. We don't ever suture these back together, okay? We don't stitch them up. We want them to heal on their own. The reason why is because there's going to be infection again in there tomorrow, okay? So we're going to have more infection in there that we're going to have to get back out. And if I suture this up, then I'm just going to have to open it back up. As a matter of fact, this thing will actually start closing back over as of in just a couple of hours. So if we're lucky, we won't have to reopen this hole back up day after day. It'll stay open at least long enough. And this is another thing that's going to help. This Neosporin will also help keep it somewhat lubed and keep it from healing over as fast and closing off, because we don't want it to close up, because if it closes up and there's still infection in there, then we're going to have to deal with this process all over again, okay? So again, this right here is a beautiful, beautiful painted turtle. Did really, really well. You can see how nasty that and how swollen this has gotten. It's really gotten to him. And this right here is how you deal with an ear abscess on turtles, aquatic or land. The eardrum on either side of the head. Right here is on this side. Of course, obviously you can see where this one is. What we would do, take and do everything that you just seen. Inject him with a little bit of numbing medication, slit it open, squeeze all that that nasty infection like this right here. I'm going to let him pull his head back in, that way he can relax now. All this infection like this crap right here, every bit of this infection right there, infection. All that yellow cottage cheesy nonsense is just infection. You see the guy's still growing. As you can see, I'm playing with his scute there. He's still shedding, so he's still eating and growing. But this right here can kill them if that's not taken care of fast enough. And it's allowed, the infection is allowed to keep going through the brain. It'll literally eat through the skull and eat the bone structure and then eat the brain, which will ultimately kill it. Now, hopefully this has been somewhat helpful. Another insight into some of the things that we'd see on a regular basis here at the zoo.
All right, now isn't that something? You know, I love turtles. That's the reason I started the medical center, is for my love of hard-shelled animals. And these animals are absolutely resilient. They're amazing to me in how tough they are. The conditions that they can live under and survive for years. The things that can be done to them. And it's awesome the way that their bodies work. Now, in this particular case, this is, again, one of the many ways that we would take care of that bulging abscess on the side of the head. Now, of course, you have to remember, when you do something like this, or a vet does something like this, or a zoological facility does something like this, it's not just fixing the problem at hand. You have to fix what caused the problem. So under the right dietary, nutritional, supplements and nutritional support under the right kind of lighting with the right kind of vitamins and minerals and different things that these guys are going to need, not only to help with their growth, with their nourishment, but also with fighting bacteria and fighting medical issues that their bodies can be susceptible to. Okay? Now, again, this is ear abscesses and how we deal with them. This is Chad. We're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. We are the Reptile Rangers. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow along. Write us in. Let us know what other things that you'd like to see about, what you'd like for us to film about. We'll either see you on the next episode or we'll see you here at the zoo. Later.